Where's Chad Kramer anyway?
He's right here. Right there.
Oh, Chad Kramer. You're Chad Kramer?
I started skateboarding, I guess it was probably mid-80s, something like that. I was more like, did the BMX, freestyling BMX. Had like a roller derby board, but I was more bikes, probably till like 87 is when I decided bikes cost too much and I wanted to be a punk rock skateboarder, and just once I got started with that, it never stopped. I never raced or anything like that. I was more of the freestyle thing and like getting BMX Plus magazine, and but it's like so different then. Like there's no instant gratification on the internet to find what the newest shit is. Like you just it cycles down through a magazine that's probably a year old. Yeah! I think like the first real setup I had, like a friend gave me like or I bought Venture trucks somehow, and I had a hand-me-down Lance Mountain, and it's just like a pieced together board. But the first like official complete, I think, was a Parallelander. Back then you rode a board till like your tail was almost gone, and then you get a new board and you couldn't ollie because you already changed the mechanics of your ollie. Yeah. The only thing there was the Magic Skate Park in Jackson Wald. And I remember going there the first time and being like so overwhelmed, like your first day at a new skate park and you're just like you almost feel like everyone's staring at you, like who's this guy? But started going there, started meeting friends, and I literally would go there almost every day. I would have to get it right. One time I skated there. The owner had called me and said, these guys, I think Foundation, like that Magic F Troop video, like there's some footage of Magic there. He'd called me and told them they were there, and I literally got on my skate. It was probably 5 miles, and like a big hill. Like I had to butt board down and skid by wearing my shoes out to to get all the way down there. And I got there and they were like packing up, and I was like, damn it. Spunk was like 93 to 95. It's like the 3-year disease. Like Spunk was 3 years, More Skates was 3 years, that park in Maryland Exodus was 3 years. It's like a 3-year lease deal, and then they're done with you. And the lease ran out, and I guess the guy that owned the building was a fireworks distributor or something like that, and he had one of his fireworks people wanted a space, and just basically, you're out. Like right after I graduated high school, my mom and my little brother moved to Florida. They live in Clearwater. And it was like a pivotal, like, I had just graduated high school. I'm like, I'm not moving to Florida. I mean, it would have been interesting because that was when Tampa started, and they're right there. I remember going down to visit and going to the park and like, oh, there's a cool scene here, but I stayed up here. I moved in with my dad, and he lived on this side of Reading, kind of near Adamstown. So I was a little closer to Lancaster, and I met a girl that was going to the art school here, so I started coming here a lot. Started going to Spunk and met Sieber and Jim, and I remember the first buddy of mine, Eric, took me there for the first time, and I was like, this place is sick. It was still a spine ramp, and I'm skating around and, you know, don't really know anyone, you know, saying hi, whatever, and then go there a few times and get to know Sieber, and he tells me his story. He's like, yeah, you look like this dude from Maryland, and like we thought you were him, but like he would show up and be like, that guy's a dick and he's not that good, and then like then I'd come and be like, oh, he's a lot better this time, and it was like they were like, what's going on here? And like they thought I was someone else for a while and whatever. And then once I moved here, I didn't have a car for a while. I would take the bus from downtown to Columbia, and then Jim would bring me home. Like I'd stay the whole day.
Hello, and welcome to Camp Woodward, home of the largest extreme sports facility in the entire world. Originally established in 1970, Camp Woodward now caters to inline skaters, skateboarders, and BMX stunt riders. Each summer, thousands of kids flock to Camp Woodward to have the time of their lives. At camp, you can meet up with friendly staff and pros like these guys.
Woodward was pretty much the same kind of time frame. I want to say, I think 93 was my first year there. Me and my buddy Brooke applied to be dishwashers because we found out you could be a dishwasher and stay for free. We're like, sweet. So we got hooked up with 3 weeks, you know, come for 3 weeks, you know, stay, and, you know, met all kinds of people. Was totally stoked, and Ozzy was running the camp, and I think I was there 3 weeks. I was left, and then 2 weeks later they called me like, do you want to counsel weeks 9, 10, 11? I was like, sure. So then I started counseling. And after that, the very next year I was there for pre-camp, like re-masonite. It was all masonite at the time, so we do, resheet everything there, paint shit and whatever. I was there probably a month before camp, and then all summer long for the next, whatever, the whole 90s essentially. It was cool. It was like the closest thing I can imagine to like skating out west was, but people came to you instead of like traveling like to different spots. You get to meet, I met so many, pros back in the day, but it's like they all, every week there's a new guy, and it was super cool, Met a lot of friends that way, and was able to couch surf the whole country essentially on 2 different road trips because you met some dude from this town or whatever, and you're like, hey, we'll check you out.
Yes, I think you all heard it before. See my mouth, see that it's moving. I think you already know where I'm coming from.
Le gentil monsieur, la méchante femme,
Scénario de François Truffaut.
la mort.